welcome to Gaga Knits. My name's Anita and I live in South Wales in the UK, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Anita Bulb, and show notes can be found in the description box below. Today is Wednesday the 30th of December, and I thought I would pop on and do a quick podcast just to wish everyone a happy new year. I'm sure we're all looking forward to the end of 2020. I hope you had a nice Christmas and well, don't really know what to say about Christmas this year. About a week after my last podcast, we caught COVID. Martin works as a lecturer in a college, and several of his students had tested positive over the few weeks before the end of term. And when the end of term came, Martin sent for a test. Now that was against government guidelines because he didn't have any symptoms, but he just wanted to take a test to be sure that he was clear. So he did the test, and when it came back positive, we were quite shocked because he didn't have any symptoms. So I then took a test. I went to a test centre and also tested positive. So that meant that we had to self-isolate from that point on for 10 days. Josh didn't have any symptoms and he had to isolate as well because he lived with us. So that meant we had to stay in the house basically until the 27th of December, which meant my mum, who lives on her own, would have come to us for Christmas, and she had to have Christmas on her own. It was all quite horrendous. Fortunately, we didn't have very bad symptoms. Martin developed a really bad cough, continuous cough. And I have lost my sense of taste and smell, but other than that, I think we've got off lightly. So our self-isolation has now ended and we can go out, except Wales is now in lockdown, so we can't go anywhere anyway. But anyway, there are new vaccines coming out all the time, so hopefully everyone will be vaccinated soon. And now I have had the virus, I'm wondering, am I protected? I'm still, obviously I still wear a mask and things when I go out and do the shopping and things, but who knows? Anyway, I am looking forward to 2021 and hopefully all this will be behind us. Once I tested positive, I sort of lost my craft mojo for a little while. I think it was shock and we were a bit scared. You didn't know if your symptoms were going to get any worse, and it meant obviously I couldn't see Jodie and Matthew and the children, and I just didn't want to do anything. And then I didn't do the pinata for Harry because well, I wouldn't be seeing him. So I sort of didn't really do much. But what I did start, what brought me back on, I started a little bit of work on one project, and then that sort of kept me going and saw me through. And that was the free-for-all cowl that I was knitting along with many other people who were joining in with Lesley from Not Quite Enough Yarns December Knit-along. And here's my version of the cowl. And if you remember last time, I was trying to knit it in the round when it wasn't meant to be in the round. And it was really simple pattern and just what I needed at the time. I'll put it on and show you. So I'm going to wear this with my works coat. It's quite nice because my work coat is sort of a button-up V and there's always that little gap. So that's going to be really nice to wear with that. So I'm very pleased with it. You had to do provisional cast on, so that was new. It was nice and easy, and then you had to join to make it a round shape using Kitchener stitch, which I always like doing that because I think it's very clever. Not sure where mine is. My join is here. I can feel the ridge and you can't see a thing. I love that. I think it's really clever. These people who invent these stitches and things, amazing. And I used this, is all I've got left, from a 100-gram ball, and it's Aran yarn from Tyddyn Bryn, grey soft spun Aran Alpaca, and it was very nice and it's not too itchy. I haven't blocked it or anything because I am not really one for blocking. And I used the Knit Pro Novas, which were a bit blunt for doing the eyelets. But what I liked about these, they were 40 centimetres long, which isn't very long, and it made me practice holding my needles slightly differently. And I have the very short circulars for knitting socks, and I've tried a few times to knit socks with them and haven't got on with them. But because I had to hold these differently, I'm going to, in 2021, have a go at making a pair of socks with the short circulars again to see if I can get on with it. Because you shouldn't give up, because I think sometimes I do something or I try something out and I don't really like it and I go back to it at a later date and it seems to work. So I'm going to give that a go, I think. I don't know which socks to do yet. I haven't made any plans for 2021 or for projects. And my other knitting project is the cardigan that I have. When we were first diagnosed, when we were first tested positive, I didn't really want to do any knitting, and then the Cowl brought me back into my crafts, and then once I'd finished that, it just feels wrong not having anything to do. So I picked up my cardigan again, just trying to find the correct pattern. I've got so many bits and pieces in this project bag. So that's the pattern there. And I now have completed the back. It is so lovely and soft. Here it is. So that's the back. All the way down there. It's lovely. It's as light as a feather and really soft. I don't know if you can see. Is it the halo? Oh, I'm going to really enjoy wearing that. So let's see. You like when the sleeves will be like that. Oh, it's going to be lovely. And I am now working on the left front, which does take a little bit more concentration because you're going to have to add stitches and things to the side. There, so I'm that far. I'm really enjoying it. I can even knit it now and watch the telly, which is good news, but I can only do that because of my board, my magnetic board, and I put that on the top of that one to show what row I'm on, and then I can go along. If I hadn't done this spreadsheet and used this board, I don't think I would have been able to do it. So I am just concentrating on finishing that. I'm tempted every now and then to start a new project, knitting, but I don't want to because I think I won't go back to this. Now I've got into the rhythm of the pattern, I want to finish that before I do anything else. And I had some yarn as Christmas presents this year. My cousin Nikki, who lives in Canada, sent me this beautiful skein of such a lovely rich red colour. and it is the Small Bird Workshop, and the yarn is called Bunting. It's fingering weight, non-superwash, 2-ply, 100% Corriedale, and the colourway is ruby, so that's beautiful. So I'm going to have to think of a project to put that in. And then I asked Martin for some yarn for Christmas. Dropping everything. I asked him for some yarn, and I asked him to get it from Elliot Craft House Magic, because he loves 80s music and all her yarns are named after 80s songs. So the first one he got me two, was this, which is called Babooshka. I'm not going to sing Kate Bush to you. I would sing it, but not you. And that is superwash merino and nylon, 4-ply. I asked him to get me 4-ply. And then he also got me this beautiful one, which is my favourite green colour, and it's called Cloudbusting, which apparently is another Kate Bush song, but I haven't heard of that one. So I have two, which are beautiful, and Ellie always very generously puts in a little sample. So I'm going to put that into this blanket, and that one is Smooth Criminal. So there we go. Is that one? So I was very lucky to get all those for Christmas. And I also asked him to get me some of these Pilot Frixion pens, because the ones I had run out, and these were really good for sewing because you can draw on fabric and then a bit of heat from the iron and the ink disappears. Now these are gel roller pens, much better than the ballpoint ones I had before. So these work really well, and I have used them already because I have finished my little Christmas ornament that I was making, which was this gingerbread house from Dimensions. It's a kit, and you had to cross stitch it onto this plastic material, which I did, and then you have to cut all around the edge, which is a little bit worrying, so I don't want to lose any stitches. And I just put some felt on the back, a very wonky Christmas 2020, and I finished this yesterday, but I took my tree down the day before, so although it's for my Christmas tree, I didn't get to finish it in time for this year. Not to worry, I shall put it away and use it next year. And I have done two little sewing projects. First one was just a little bed cover for Charlie's bed. She's gone to have her hair cut today, and although we're in lockdown, the dog groomer who cuts Charlie's hair has very kindly said we could take Charlie and have her hair cut, because it gets very long. She's an old English sheepdog, because she's got, you know, her bad legs and other health issues. She needs to have her hair cut to keep her comfortable. So whenever she goes to have her hair cut, I always change her bed covers, and I've made her a little one, put some pictures in, and it was some fleecy fabric I bought at one of the craft shows a couple of years ago, and it's stretchy, which I didn't expect, so I had to put a bit of binding on the back. I made it like a pillowcase cover, so I'll put some photos in of her on her bed with her new haircut when she comes back. Ooh, I think that's them coming back now. So I made that, and I sewed it all on my overlocker, apart from the little bit of binding I added to the edge because it was too stretchy really, so I had to just put a bit of binding on. So I sewed that on there, so I shall show you those. And then I also had this book, Traditional Patchwork Quilt Patterns, And what's nice about it is you get the templates in an envelope at the back. Who doesn't like that? Like a little envelope with things in, and you just have to cut. It was one sheet of acrylic, and then you just cut the little shapes out. But to practice, I have been using my Laura Ashley squares. Remember, I had squares and hexagons from Martin's sister from a quilt that she was going to make years ago with vintage Laura Ashley, which you might think I shouldn't use to practice on, but I did. So I didn't quite do the right size to the templates. I just used the squares, and I had to go at the triangles first. I'm not very good at it, but this is the one I made on the sewing machine, and I didn't cut all the corners properly, or I sewed right to the ends, and obviously you shouldn't do. And then I hand stitched one bit, and that's sort of a bit neater. It's not too bad. And then I had to go at one of the square blocks, and that's the one. These are all meant to line up, but I don't really mind. I enjoy the process more than being really, really particular. And then that's the other one, same colours, or the same two fabrics, but different, just different layout. Well, the same layout, but different colourway. And I added a little zip and turned it into a cushion. It was just the right size for a cushion pad I already had. But the cushion pad's quite patterned, so you can see through it, because it's quite thin, and I didn't line or interface the cushion cover because I didn't know it was going to be a cushion cover. I just decided after I'd done the two squares, because otherwise I've practiced on them and I've just left them. And this book is good, but it doesn't really tell you enough at the beginning on, or perhaps I haven't read it enough, which order. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because I probably didn't read enough of the front. I just got stuck in straight away. So the triangle one I did, what was that one called? I did the triangle first, where really I think I should have done the squares first, because start off easy. But when you see something you want to do, you just want to dive straight in, don't you? Which one did I do? Oh, very last one's typical. So that was the windmill, the first ones I did, and it's quite hard to the points of the triangle, so I'm going to have to work on that one a bit. And then the other one that for the cushion was called Puss in the Corner. And there are 27 different patterns or designs, and I'm going to give them all a go. And I would really like to make some quilts this year, or some lap blankets, or a table runner, something. So I quite like sewing things for the house, and rather than clothes, because you don't have to worry so much about fit. So that's everything that I've been working on this month. And on my last video I did a giveaway for reaching 500 subscribers, and the prize was the little notions pouch with knitting notions in, and a copy of the seasonal fruits sock pattern by Lindsay from Stitch Create Love. Well, the lady who won it didn't get in touch with me, so I'm thinking I'm going to draw again. I still have my Christmas pudding here, so I'm just going to draw out somebody else, give someone else a chance, because the lady who won obviously didn't watch the video. Hopefully she doesn't go back and watch it, because she'll be a bit disappointed to find out that she missed out. Right, so the winner is Danny Lum. So congratulations, Danny. If you watch this video, please let me know. So congratulations, Danny. if you can get in touch with me, and then I can send the prize out to you. Also, on my last video, a couple of days before I did the recording, Martin and I went for a walk to SOUTHERNDOWN, which is a local beach to us, and I took some photos to put on the end of the video, and I forgot to do it. So I thought I might put them on the end of here, because now, even though the beach isn't very far from us, we are not allowed, we would have to drive there and then go for a walk, and you're not allowed to do that. You can only exercise from your home. So I just thought I'd put a few shots of that at the end, because it was a lovely day, and I'm looking forward to more lovely days in 2021. So I hope everyone has a nice new year and stay safe, and I shall see you all at the end of January. Happy New Year, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.